He said, gee, you do have a small scour problem just downstream of these culverts, but how about you take a walk 50 feet down the ditch and look at where you really have a scour problem? And this pre-existed any work that we did out here. And in fact, the homeowner at 975, when he was here before the board last year, made his observation that in the 30+ years he's been there, he's seen this ditch grow wider and wider and wider, and when he first moved in he was able to step over it, and now it's this rather enormous chasm.
Let me just interrupt you for 1 second. You have 975 on one side, 950 on the other side. What is in the middle? What's south?
What happens is if
whose turn? Is that a house or is
turn
that
to the map page?
Yeah.
It's simply a ditch, and it's a ditch
Where does this go to? What's here?
Ultimately, if you go far enough south, you'll hit Thorngate Creek.
Okay. Is this a house?
Mitch Davidson.
There's no house in the middle there. It actually comes down
what is that
Jasmine.
What is that property?
That's the property that the ditch is on.
Forest Preserve property?
Negative. It's 950 and 975's property. They go south to the north line of the properties on Jasmine.
Okay.
So what Jed pointed out to me was, if you're going to do a scour project out here, it makes no sense to just simply do these few feet just downstream of the culvert. There is out here a larger scour problem, and there's also just generally an economy of scale. Once you mobilize a contractor to come out and do this sort of work, you may as well address the whole area that you have. So I asked Jed to solicit a quote for a contractor. The solution that he's come up with here, and I know that this technical data sheet that I attached here doesn't tell a whole lot. I put it on there really because it shows conceptually. The idea here is
before you go to the concept of how you're going to fix it, can we talk about whether we should fix it first?
Certainly.
Okay. My question is that you identified a scour problem, and you suggested that the scour problem was the result of the culverts that we had replaced. But that this was a scour area that you had not actually identified until this person came out and helped you look at this and said, well, wait, look downstream, look at this problem, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm hearing this right. So, we don't know that this problem had any relationship at all to the culverts that you changed last time,
In fact, I can tell you that it's unrelated. It was pre-existing prior to any culvert work that we did.
Okay, so is there a precedent in the village for us to deal with a problem like this on private property that is a condition that's created by, this flow of water?
No, but I would note there's very, very little, or relatively little of this is on private property. That everything around the bulb of the cul-de-sac there is actually village right-of-way. And then we're going just a bit south to pick up the confluence of where these two ditches come together, two roadside ditches come together, and then go south onto private property. And we're going just far enough south where there is an easement, a platted easement there, to get to a logical end of the project, to get the water essentially around the corner and point it in a straight line again.
Okay, so does the village, I'm sorry, I wasn't done.
Just for clarification,
Okay.
There's a real fine dark line. Is that the property outline for the 975 and 950?
It is, right. And I apologize if this is hard to read. There is a fine dark line that shows the right-of-way, and then on the north-south line is the property line between 975 and 950.
That's okay. So the area, so now it appears that this is not on the property, on the private property, but the village right-of-way. Is there a protectable interest? Is there some reason why the village wants to protect that right-of-way? I mean, is that right-of-way going to be used for something? Is it holding up the road, or is it,
Conceivably, if the scour continues long enough, we'll start to lose the road. The scour is getting close to the street, just downstream of the culverts. And then we do start to, and if you go out there and take a look, you'll see a number of the trees there have been, the trees are really all that's left holding that corner where the water makes that hard left turn. There's just a few trees with their roots exposed there. They're not enormous trees, but we would start losing parkway trees as well.
all right, thanks, that's what I need to know.
I had a question too, and how long can we expect this stabilization to last? Or are we going to be going back in there?
No, this is a pretty long-term, you know, the useful life of a gabion basket's probably on the order of 25, 30 years. The other part of this is you've got essentially this wire mesh filled with box filled with stones. They'll take some of the excavated topsoil and pack that in there with these stones as well in an effort to give some vegetation someplace to grow. The longest term solution, of course, is to get vegetation through here and make it more like a natural channel. The problem is that we're trying to take this channel and whip it around the corner and tell it to make all these hard turns that no natural channel would ever make. So we're trying to give it a little help with this armor underneath that some vegetation can grow into.
Do you have a motion, please?
Want a motion? I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of Kowalt Hamilton and Associates Inc. in connection with the bank stabilization of Wiggum Road.
Second.
In the amount of?
$19,596.
We have a second from Cheryl?
Second, yes.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Swadek.
Yes.
Trustee Masterson.
Aye.
Trustee Kunjan.
Aye.
Trustee Haber.
Aye.
Trustee Grattan.
Yes.
Trustee Chamberlain.
Aye.
Carried.
I'll get back with these folks and find out what his schedule is and keep the board apprised for when we'll get this wrapped up.
Okay, I did not answer Rich's question on trustee Dunn's, Dunn's well. It seems that the readings, Pat, help me out on this thing. The readings that were taken by Marnie,
For the last 12
our
years.
people, were not consistent. When the pump is running, is one level, when the pump is not running, it's another level. And we find that the readings that they took when the pump was running were way low, and it really wasn't as bad as we thought it was. So we now have a way to, a consistent way to measure the well levels, because the pumps will all be off when he takes the readings. So they'll be consistent.
Great. Who discovered this?
It was a collective effort as we started putting our heads together.
We've been taking the readings.
Accolades, Pat.
I-
The fact that that level went up and down 10 feet, if that was true, we're all in deep trouble.
Right.
Very good.
Right,
the pump was
it didn't
drawing
make any
water.
sense.
It was done.
It was done.
So that's what it was, and they're not in trouble.
Is it conceivable that condition exists in other areas?
What condition?
Now they can take a shower.
Reading of the,
No, it's just the way they take a reading.
I understand that.
Yeah, it was, all areas that
But
they
the
were doing
procedure
readings.
evidently was flawed.
So all the data we've had.
That's correct.
Is all flawed.
That's
I
correct.
wouldn't say that. I don't think we throw away 12 years worth of readings. I suppose what we do is we throw out the low readings, right? Remember, we saw all the time these inconsistent readings. You get
rid of the outliers.
the high ones never artificially high. It's just that the low ones artificially low. So,
That's what it is.
and presumably everybody's at the same elevation. So if we stop thinking in terms of height above the pump, but rather elevation of the water, we can then apply that across all of them and just simply take the high readings as being the true readings.
But when we shut off sprinkling based on the readings that were low,
Yes.
we were wrong.
You're right.
That's right.
That's
Well,
correct.
I'm not ready to go.
We don't get it 100%.
However, we brought greater democracy to the wells.
Okay. Standing, I just want
Hispanic
to
and
answer your
Democratic.
question. I didn't mean to ignore you.
No,
I just
it
forgot.
was- it
I
was-
just forgot about it.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Trustee Creditor.
Building department report. Last year, from September 1st through the 30th, total construction value was $78,950. Generating fees, $1,206. That was driveway, fencing, roofing, and other small miscellaneous. This year, total value of $91,355, generating fees of